So here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure and privilege to be here with Diana and Gary every week. We love being with you and sharing this life-changing education. It's really important that we be the best that we can be with our goals. And also, you know, for me, I'm very mission driven. And I think that everything to do with Manitech, whether what attracts you is the wellness technology or the extra income or full-time income, a career that you could feel proud of and love, or whether it's assisting via our social entrepreneurship channel to feed the malnourished children around the world. It doesn't matter. We're all in the same family, and we're here to help you achieve your goals. Now, we're very privileged today to have Naomi Enevoldson. I was going to say interviewing, but hanging out on video with Naomi. She's an awesome leader and an awesome example of an empowered woman in our Manitech Australasian community. I'll just give you a little bit about her background. She started building her business with Manitech 8 years ago, and her background was in teaching, and she also had a traditional retail business. Naomi is a mom to 3 beautiful teenage children who are a big reason why she's building this business. She went on from struggling to make ends meet and going further into debt to an international business and traveling the world. Products have changed her life too. One of her favorite things to do is to travel to new destinations and experience the cultures too. And I know if you were listening to us chat earlier, she's about to go on a big European tour, and she's gathering all her nutritional backup to make sure her immune system stays strong with that schedule. In October 2015, Naomi achieved the leadership level of presidential director. In 2012, she was awarded the top enroller. 2013, she was awarded the top 5 enrollers and top national director. 2014, she was awarded top enroller. And in 15, she was receiving the award for top senior executive director and top 5 enrollers. She was awarded New Business Developer of the Year at Manifest in 2016. And in 2016, at the Australasian Manifest, she was awarded top enroller, top income growth, New Business Developer, and top associate of the year for 2016. Success leaves clues, everybody. Naomi was recently awarded the top associate for 2019 and the top 3 enrollers. People in her team have also been top enrollers, top leadership levels, and rookie of the year. Naomi has an absolute passion to see others succeed, and she's built an organization of passionate, dedicated, and hardworking people. She also has a desire to see the wider Manitech community flourish and for Manitech to continue to grow into the billion-dollar company where we deserve to be. Naomi, bless you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Sharon, for having me on. And thank you every week for what you do, Diana and Gary. You guys are a real blessing to Manitech, and we are very privileged to have you as in the Manitech family.
Thank you. I mean, as we always say, it's also a bit selfishly driven because I'm always inspired and a better person after myself. But yeah, I think everybody, no matter where you live or, you know, what team you're in or whatever your goals with Manitech, we need to band together to support everyone. So thank you so very much. Yeah, they're just commenting, Gary saying Naomi's award, this could take some time listing all those accolades. So Naomi, let's go back to the beginning. It's, you know, there'll be brand new people being able the opportunity to watch this. And at some point you made a decision. Tell us about that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I sometimes think a little bit of a background's good for everybody. And, you know, I don't know if I've ever shared this, but, you know, it's as a child, so going a little bit further back, I'm one of 5, so a big family, and my parents were pastors, so they're always, you know, kind of busy. We've always had people around, but I was, being the youngest, I guess I was the quiet one and kind of tried to slip under everybody's radar a lot, and yeah, just kept to myself. But also I think within that I became quite self-sufficient because I had to sometimes just look after myself because everything was crazy. And we didn't have a lot of money growing up, you know, pastor's wage, my mum didn't work, so there wasn't a lot of money. And I think all of those things play into, you know, who you become as well. And so yeah, at school I was like, oh, what should I do with my life? I don't really know any professions. You know, I was the first of my family to go to university, and I decided, okay, well, I'll put down teaching because that's all I know. And then next would be nursing. And I think back to that decision and I think, like, I couldn't have even I can't handle the sight of blood. I can't handle vomit. I literally start to feel faint myself. And so the thought that I was going to somehow be a nurse, it makes me laugh. Even when I was a preschool director, it's like, don't let Naomi near the kids. If they're vomiting, she's going to vomit too. And so having 3 kids is also very interesting. I seem to cope all right with that. But, you know, from there, so I did teaching for quite a while, about 7 years, and then an opportunity came up to have my own business. So Oshkosh was looking for franchisees, and I don't really know how I got it because I didn't have business background, but, you know, I ended up with a shop in Parramatta and then did very well with that. So, you know, we got up to the number 2 in the country. The other first one was the flagship store, and then you know, sometimes took their spot, and then I also got the shop in Miranda. But it was about the time I was ready to have my second child. I thought, I can't do this anymore. This business is taking up way too much of my time. I'm away from home a lot. You know, Westfield was demanding that you be open really long hours, and it was only getting a bit longer hours. And I just thought, this isn't really conducive to me having a young family. So I decided to sell those off. And that's the thing about traditional business that many people don't understand, is that you don't have freedom. And that's the difference with this business, that you really have so much freedom. And so, yeah, I sold that and went back to teaching, had again my 3rd child, and then moved to Coffs Harbour. And he was about 4. So I still needed to work around my family, and I was still wanting something that I could do around them. And I didn't want to go back to teaching. I didn't have, I was going to have to study some more to keep up to date, and I just didn't have the passion there. And I thought, again, you know, I didn't have support when I moved to Coffs Harbour, so I needed to find something that I could, you know, work around dropping them to school, picking them up, all of those sorts of things. If they were sick, school holidays, I just didn't have, you know, I needed to be there, and I needed that flexibility. So I heard about people making money online, and I thought, well, there must be, you know, there's got to be something out there. You know, people seem to be doing something from home. I've got to work out some way. And so I was just searching, and this was going on months, and I thought, no, there's just seems nothing out there that, you know, I could be interested in. Seemed a lot of scams and things, so I wasn't really sure if, you know, if that's, yeah, I just thought, oh, I don't think that's for me. And then one night, it was sort of the cusp, I guess, of I've got to either go get a job, or I've got to find something quick, smart. And so I started to search something different, and I came across James Hannon's website, and I had sort of met him at church, and not really met him, but seen. So I thought, oh, okay, well, I'll just find out what this is all about. And went to him and met then we had a coffee shop meeting, and just, you know, he ran through a presentation, and it was an interesting way that he presented to me. You know, I look back and I go, oh, that's interesting that he presented that way. That's not really the way that we present. But he was saying, so, and this is what you would do. You would ask them, you'd just go through it was a napkin presentation. You just go through, and then at the end, you'd ask them, so what option best suits you? So you tell the options, and then you'd ask them, what option best suits you? And I'm like, oh, okay. And he said, so what option best suits you? And I went, well, you know, if it was me, I'd probably go for the 750 pack, because that's the business builder pack, you know, if that was what. He goes, oh, congratulations, welcome to the team. And I'm like, oh, did I just, what? He goes, what credit card would you like to use? And I pulled out my credit card and handed it across, and I still don't know what I was doing at that point, but I was handing my credit card across, and thinking, I don't even know if that will even go through, because, you know, I was just in that much debt and money was a problem at that time. And that was me starting this business. So it was like, I think I just joined. And I think I joined a network marketing. So the next day in the night, I was thinking about it. Oh my gosh, what did I just do? $750. I just joined a network marketing company, something I said I would never do. What have I done? I can't believe I've done something like that. And so I thought, oh, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing network marketing. I can't believe I've done it. But, I heard, listening to the products, I was actually very unwell at the time. I had pains through my body, constant headaches, no energy whatsoever. It's just a series of things going on in my body. And I thought, okay, well, the product sounded really good, and I really do need something, because if I'm going to get a job, I'm going to need something to, bring back my health. I tried different doctors and I wasn't getting answers for my health anywhere. And so kind of putting aside the fact that I joined the business, I started on the products, and within 3 weeks I was like, wow, I'm actually starting to feel, I'm feeling different. I'm getting a bit more energy. And it was about 6-week mark where I couldn't believe the difference. Like the pains had gone, the headaches had gone, I had energy, I felt great. And it was about that time that James sent me a link to Giving Changes Everything. So that was about the social entrepreneur side of Manatech. And having been involved in lots of charities and things like that, and missions over the years, it's sort of, I travelled a bit with missions. And when I heard that, I just thought, wow, I love the mission. It speaks to me. The products had changed my life. And I went, okay, I want to do this. I'd like to say that, everything happened and my business exploded, but I was still trapped in so much fear. And I think still the misconception of what network marketing was, I didn't really understand it. Now I just think it's the best business model out there. There just isn't anything that compares to it. And it's not a selfish business model. It's really a collaborative business model where you lift others up, you support each other, you work as a team. I didn't have that in my business before, but this is such a beautiful model like that. And I think nothing gets the men, but something where women really thrive in this arena, and that equal opportunity for all women as well, to earn as much as you want. And so it really took me about 6 months of sitting there in fear, trying to work things out, but at the same time working on myself. So I was really working on my personal development. I was working on my skill development. So I really got stuck in. I thought, right, if I'm going to do this business, I'm going to treat it like, a business. So I studied at university to become a teacher. Well, I'm going to study, I'm going to learn, I'm going to grow my skills to become better. And so I treated it like that. And it was about 6 months in that I went to my first Ozfest, I think it was called. And, I saw successful people walking across the stage, and I heard all the stories. I learnt more about the products, but it really was that night, the awards night, that really got me. And I thought, wow, like people are really being successful in this business. And I thought to myself, you know what, if they can do it, I can do it too. And there was never jealousy there. There was always, I've always looked at everybody within Manatech. Karen was a big icon. And at this point, I'm so sorry, I want to honour my upline, James Hannon, for all his support. I don't know if he's on here, but I forgot to do that, which is wrong of me, but I do want to honour him for his support and always pushing me outside of my comfort zone.
He's been honouring himself in the chat box, Naomi, so
We get in trouble.
He's got it handled.
You know, even though sometimes I'm like, well, I can't do a webinar. What are you talking about? I'm a regional director. He would push me outside of my comfort zone all the time. And that's definitely what's helped me grow, because I had to keep, you know, getting out that comfort zone. Seeing all these comments.
No.
Yeah, and so I really use everybody's stories within Manatech to inspire me, to know that, okay, well, if that's possible. And Karen Dennis, I would look up to her and what she'd done as a single mum, and what she'd been able to achieve through this business, and you know, the people across the stage. And then the big thing for me was I've always loved travel, but obviously not having any money and things being very tight, that travel was definitely out of the question unless it's going to family's house. And Mauritius was actually announced that Ozfest, and so I just went, wow, we can travel for free, what? And that, I just decided that weekend, things are changing for me. I wrote out a vision statement. I spoke it out every day. I would use the trip, the Mauritius, I'd had the brochure there, and every time I'd go to pick up the phone, which I hated doing, still have to break through that fear. You think at this stage be all right, but still I go, okay, what am I doing this for? Yeah, okay, there I go. And that's the thing, you know, I connected to that dream, and that dream actually drove me to take the action and to really push out of my fears. It's not a science, you know, it's just about connecting to your dream, pushing past your fears and taking action, and taking that inspired action. So yeah, that's when my business really started to take off. I think I got to national director within about 4 months from there. So that was 6,000 points. So yeah, I just started to really grow my business, started to enroll business builders and, you know, customers and things like that. And yeah, I mean, through the years, definitely had the highs and the lows, and the struggles that come. But yeah, it's been an incredible journey. I've been able to travel to the most amazing destinations. So that Mauritius was there. Then I think the next one was China, Vietnam, Borneo, South Pacific cruise, Paris, New York, Hawaii, Mexico. I probably missed some, Tahiti, Fiji, Bali, all through the business. So it's just been an incredible journey. Many of you know, I'll just have a sip. A few years ago, I lost my sister, which was a devastating blow to me. Like, she was my best friend, and you know, it was a really difficult time, and it was actually in the time that I was making my presidential run, so that I'd set the goal and I was running towards that. I needed to take about 6 weeks off because I just wasn't coping, and you know, the devastation of losing her. And my business continued to tick over. It didn't just tick over. My team kind of rallied around, and to support me, they really went to work, and my business grew. I took 6 weeks off, but my income grew. And that's the thing about this business, is it's not like a job where you lose your job and that, or you take time off from your job. I mean, you get your holidays, but if you're taking time leave without pay, you don't get paid. But my business grew, and then I think it was a couple of months after that is when I went presidential. And yeah, just been an amazing blessing. The lifestyle, the freedom that I've experienced is incredible. And yeah, I'm excited for the future. I probably rambled, but you've probably got questions.
No, that's perfect. Because I think, you know, and there's some brand new partners on here today, one in your greater team. And I think it's really good to hear the honesty and the authenticity around our journeys to this. They're all different, but there's so many similarities. And one thing that always inspires me about you, Naomi, is that every time you're being recognized on stage, you're kind of going, oh, I had some real rough patches. I didn't even know what I was doing this year, or was questioning my choices. And, you know, I think the big takeaway is that you just listen to those things, but don't give them the power to take total control.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. I'm not without struggles. I'm not without challenges. I'm not without really, really bad months where things don't go well. And even last year, you know, towards the end, you know, I've been through another challenging period, and I might talk about that more one day, but not quite at the moment. I will say to women, make sure you're aware of your finances and you have access to all your finances, because that's very important for women, to make sure that they do have access to those things. So I've had some things to work through, and you know, this business, without it, it's given me financial security, it's given me financial freedom, and I am so glad that I've built this. I can't stress enough how important it is for anybody to really, if you've got a job, it's so important that you have that second additional income there building up. And if this is if you know, you're a stay-at-home mum or whatever, that you have, you know, you have this business that's your own, that's something that you can build, and that's something that you can, you know, it's an asset that you've built up for yourself and your family, which is really.
We, you know, with the enhancement to our payment plan, and that basically it's a promotion, but it's given another whole level of conversation in teams. And in our team, we're talking about how our business and the structure of our business gives the power of the rich to anybody who wants that, you know, so that you're in charge and you can build, and you can, you know, if you're in a disempowered financial situation, you really can learn, train, partner, and change that with this. And that I'm so proud to be part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so important. And I actually think, I mean, what I've learned through this business and through network marketing, the personal development, you know, building that asset, you know, you pay hundreds of thousands of dollars, yeah. And we get that as part, you know, the wisdom that we get from each other, and the stories and the training and the support is incredible. It really is.
No, absolutely. So, Naomi, I mean, I want to focus on you just, and then we've got you here, and it's your level of mastery to do some coaching as well for others. But how did it feel? How does it feel every time you win one of these accolades, and especially the top accolade of Associate of the Year twice? How does that feel?
It's a little bit surreal, like you said. I'm like, I was kind of expecting James to win it this year, but I was really glad to take it off him.
Sorry, James, we've got the camera.
But yeah, you know, I know that I had some great growth, and, you know, building up to the incentive trip, and, you know, lots of growth happening there. But I also had a couple of not so great months sort of towards the end. And so, yeah, I was like, yeah, it was just amazing, blessing, exciting. Yeah, I was just enjoying the process, I guess, and enjoying taking it off James.
Some nice, friendly, healthy rivalry in our community. That's fantastic to see. And yeah. What the you know, obviously you've talked a lot about the, you know, extensive travel you've been able to do. What are the other lifestyle changes that this business has brought to you and your family?
Look, as much as the travel is incredible, it's really the everyday lifestyle that I get to experience that I sometimes go, wow, this is my life. Like, I get paid really well to go to Pilates in the morning and, you know, take it a little bit easy. Not that, now don't get me wrong, it's not an easy, this is not get rich quick scheme. It takes a fair bit of work, but it's the flexibility within that. And like I said, I had traditional business. You're open from this time to this time. There's no flexibility in that because you have to be open. Well, I can, you know, chuff off in the morning, go and do a few things that I want to do. I'm home every afternoon pretty much. I mean, you know, here and there, but with my kids. So they get home, I'm home there with them. School holidays, you know, I can be off in the other room working. Well, they're teenagers now, so they kind of do their own thing. But I think they like that mum's there, especially when they didn't have their license. Mum, drive me here. Sometimes at the end of school holidays, I'm like, okay, go back to school now. Although my son's got his license now. But yeah, it's those things. And if they're sick, I don't have to think, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with them? And now they're older, you know, obviously they could probably stay home. But, you know, when I've been right through their schooling, if they're sick, I don't have to force them to go off to school. And, you know, they don't get overly sick because they're on the Manatech products. They might get little, you know, things that other kids would get sent. And I'm like, oh, it's all right. You stay home because I'm home and we have a little, you know, nice little day together, you know, and it's a nice time for us. But it's really that, that, it, you know, the lifestyle, the freedom, to live my life, like not to be dictated by a boss that says, right, you have to come at this time and you leave at this time and, you know, you have to work this amount of hours. I can really work my own hours. So, you know, I'm oftentimes within that, you know, get dinner done, get, you know, have a bit of time with the kids. They obviously go off and do their own things because they're teenagers and got lots of homework and things. And then I can go back and do a couple of hours, you know, or an hour at night if I want. You know, sometimes I don't, but it's that flexibility that I've just loved, the freedom, and the income, you know, that, like I said, it's been amazing. It's brought financial security to me and, you know, being able to really do well from it.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. And, you know, the other thing as I'm listening to you is that we're in charge of the ethics that we can operate under in our business, aren't we? I've had employment situations where I wasn't aligned with the ethics and it no longer felt good to me what I'm doing. And we can be totally in charge of how we work with people, how we liaise, treat people, collaborate. And, you know, you're again, a stellar example of the respect that your team, and that comes from how you've treated them and how you've partnered with them, you know, for people to ensure your income stays good when you're going through troubling times. Like, where do you find that anywhere?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. And you can choose who you want to work with. I've actually said, I'm sorry, I don't think we're not the right fit for each other, because I could see that I don't actually overjudge. I don't judge anybody anymore because I believe in everybody, but there's some people that, you know, they're angry or they've got a lot of attitude and they're the kind of people that I don't work with. But anybody, I always see the best in them. I always think, right, this person could be presidential, you know, if they're willing to put in the effort, if they're willing to put in the work and develop themselves. And I often ask people, are you willing to do that? Because it's not a get rich quick scheme. If you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to develop yourself personally, then, you know, I'd love to work with you. And so that's, you know, where we start often.
Fantastic. So Naomi, a bit of training now for everybody. I'm sure they're sitting on the edge of the seat for your secrets. What's your most important coaching in regards to keeping your mindset right? Because, you know, I think we've covered that a bit. It's really important. You know, there are peaks and troughs and there's challenges, and the best way forward is to keep your focus correct. What's your best advice in that?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things here. So the personal development is vital. If you've got to be working on yourself daily, so that, there shouldn't be a day goes by where you're not doing some sort of personal development. And how wonderful, you know, you can, the person that I am today to what I was 8 years ago I've grown so much because of that. And that's the way anybody would want to be living their life. You want to be growing, otherwise you're just stagnant and not going anywhere. So the personal and the skill development, so those two things, I'd always put personal development before skill development though. So, you know, if I'm having a tough day too, I'm connecting with James. I'm saying, look, not having a great day. And then he can speak from another point of view and say, okay, well, let's look at what's going good, you know, in your business, what's going good in your life, or, you know, just speak life. And, you know, there's also the corporate team, and, you know, we've had some great support there. But the buck stops with me. So the first thing I always do is, okay, what was the book or what's something that inspired me? I'd go back and read that. I'm plugging into podcasts all the time, you know, just to get that inspiration. And I'll tell you, at the beginning of this year, you know, like I said, I'd gone through a bit of a challenge thing. My business had gone down a little bit, and I was really looking, okay, I need to find some inspiration, direction. And so I just started to plug into podcast, audiobook. And particularly it was the Eric Worre interviews with the $1 Million Earners. And I was just getting so much inspiration from them and their journey. And one of the ladies, I can't even remember her name now, but her company had gone through 3 name changes, multiple compensation plans, lost a lot of her team, you know, difficult things happen. And so what she was talking about, I don't know, it wasn't Stormy, it was another lady. I'll have to find the name, but yeah, what she was talking about. So every time that happened, every time, you know, she'd go through that, then she'd set a 90-day challenge for herself. So 90-day all in to get her business back on track. And, you know, I have to say that's what I've often done through my time. I felt like I can do a 90-day, not the rest of the time you're going to sit back on a beach or whatever, but it's that real focused activity. You know, you get your level up even more. You're talking to a lot more people. It's a lot more focus, a lot more activity for that 90-day period. And every time I've done that, you know, I've seen that growth in my business. And then obviously you keep maintaining it, and then you grow, you do another 90-day. And so that's what I set out to do, you know, and it's been great. It's really helped me get back on track, bring that vision back into my team, because as a leader, you carry the vision for your team. And so I needed to go, okay, let me get that vision back for myself, and then I can bring the team and bring that vision into the team and that excitement. And it really, the buck stops with me, because you know, you can't sort of sit back and go, oh, hurry up, get to work. You know, I've got to get to work and you know, start to enroll people and work with new people and help them grow their business. And so it brings that freshness into the business again and that life. So that's really, you know, where I go. It's always the personal development and working on myself.
Okay, and so outside of that, your tips for success. So obviously, I agree, and you know, I'm not an expert. But all experts agree that our mindset is primary, that we have to get that right. Outside of that, what do you offer for people who really want to be successful in their goals?
So something that I do a lot of is I imagination. I vision things. So I start there. So I use my imagination, and sometimes, you know, people might look at me and think, oh, she's spending a lot of time, you know. I know James sometimes see me and, you know, you're looking at those trips again. And it might seem to some people like that's a waste, but that actually inspires me, because, you know, I and it's not just trips, but it's lifestyle. And so I'm often spending a lot of time, and even start my day off using, you know, my imagination, and seeing the kind of future that I want, seeing what I want in my business. So I start my day off like that. Definitely a lot of prayer for me. So whether, you know, for you or whoever, whatever you do, but it's taking that time to be still. So whether you're meditating or prayer, so that's coming into that real stillness and connecting obviously with your source. So that, for me, that's God. And so that I do that every day, because I find that really grounds me. It sets my day. I start off every day, my 3 great things that I'm thankful for, and not just current things. I'm actually thankful for things that I see in the future, so that aren't even there. So I see them as they are. I see them as already here, and I'm grateful for them. So it sounds, I know, a little bit unusual, but, you know, I'm grateful for what I see in the future as well. And then taking that inspired action from that place is so much better than, oh, how am I going to build this business? Oh, I have to build my business today. And, you know, coming from that place, it's actually a joy. You know, it's a joy to think, whose life am I going to change today? What impact can I make today in people's lives? And rather than focusing on myself and thinking, oh, what if they reject me, or what if they say no? Well, what if I could change someone's life? What if I could change their health, like my health's been changed? What if I could, you know, impact, you know, someone that is struggling financially, so that they can pay the next rent bill, or that they can get food on their table for their family, or that they can really grow and, you know, build a 6-figure income. It's really coming from that inspired place of whose life can I bless today? You know, who can I be a service to? Rather than who am I out to get today? Who am I going to enroll? Coming from that place, I think, really helps me in particular just come from a better place in myself. And yeah, it's really a great place to be.
No, absolutely. And, you know, I often think people are out there praying for what we have, and it's our job to be the best stewards we can to ensure they at least have the information they can make an informed decision for themselves.
Absolutely. And, you know, I was praying for something. I didn't know it was Manatech. I was, you know, when it came, like, I'm not doing that. But I was praying for a solution to my health, to my finances. And I know a lot of people say that Manatech found them, and I really believe that in my heart. This is a special company. It's not like the rest. And many people who go away, they say that, you know, it's nothing like Manatech. There's a lot of heart. There's people that really care. And I think we really, I believe we have the best products, but it's that community and that mission that we all
culture
carry. Yeah, that's right.
And so, starting new people, what's your tips for people?
So new people, and this is something I'm always tweaking. It's like, oh, you know, I'm always working out, well, what's the best way to start someone new? So definitely keeping it simple. I've learned that, because, you know, I was throwing them into our system that was just a bit overwhelming. So keeping it simple is really good. And now I'm starting off with just one product or one product range. So, you know, depending on what they're interested in when they're getting started, is, you know, either the True Pure or Impact Plus now, something really simple. Because, like, to tell you the truth, I didn't even understand glyconutrients for a long time. And so we sometimes kind of try to, people can get bogged down in the science and then think that they've got to learn it all, you know, before they can do anything. So that kind of stops them. And Dr. Nugent said this, you know, he's said this quite a few times in his training now. Start with what people want and then get to what they need. And start with, and generally what they want is fairly simple. It's like, you know, they're feeling toxic, or they're lacking energy, or they're stressed, or, you know, they're wanting to lose a bit of weight, or whatever that is. It's fairly simple, so we can keep it simple. And then just giving lots of personal development. So I'm always sending off, you know, an audio to listen to. And, you know, and also, so there's a couple of things with that. So the personal development is belief in themselves. So helping them develop belief in themselves, helping them actually to see where there's going to be some things that are going to hold them back, their fear, their limiting beliefs. So it's about belief in themselves. Then it's about belief in the company. So, you know, lots of testimonials and, you know, belief in the products. So, yeah, and I love it that, you know, when people hear that, they're just blown away more and more, because I've started simple, then they start to hear more about the product. Oh my goodness, I've got to try that product now, and that product, and get really excited. So definitely believe in the products, and then belief in the industry. So really, really important that we help people through, you know, those limiting beliefs about the industry, about network marketing, and about what it is, because it's nothing like what people think. And so they're going to come up against that a lot when they're talking to people. Yeah, and I got it from a lot of people. Oh, you joined one of those things. And that's just a limiting belief on people's behalf. And so helping people understand that and build their belief around, because like now my belief around network marketing is rock solid. Like, I am so rock solid that someone comes to me, I'm like, that's, you know, you're wrong. You know, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but I am,
you know,
that doesn't waver within me anymore. It would have back then. I'm like, oh, maybe they're right, and I've got it, you know, it doesn't waver anymore. And so just helping people with those things is really, really important, and giving just some simple steps to get started. So simple things like, say, a post on Facebook. What posts can you put on Facebook to get a little bit of interest? You know, make sure I do 3-way calls. So getting some 3-way calls happening. And I generally start with a practice 3-way calls, because I find for a new person that's less confronting. So if they can get some practice 3-way calls happening, you know, and it's not something to try to trick the person to sign up. Actually, really to get them to hear the flow and get a little bit more confident in the business. But obviously, when people hear, they often are interested. But that's not the purpose. It's just to get them understanding, okay, what to say to people, how to say it, and doing it as a practice. I just find people find that less confronting than, doing it as a normal thing.
Fantastic. And there's been a question about affordability, Naomi. So how do you help people when, you know, their situation is such they really need this, but they're trying to figure out, how am I going to invest in this to get going?
Mm-hmm. So affordability of the products?
To get started in the business. So how do you help people that, like us, cannot afford to start?
Okay, and you know, this is where I go, because I couldn't afford it. I mean, the only reason there was a little bit of money on the credit card was it just got paid off, but then there was nothing there. But you know, I say, look, I know how that is, and then I tell them a story, either my story or someone else's story on what they did to overcome that. So you know, I understand what that's like. But this is what I did. You know, I decided that I couldn't keep staying this way, that I had to change something. Otherwise, nothing would change. I'd never be able to afford anything. I'd be struggling forever. So I did have to change, look at my budget and go, okay, what can I change here in my budget so that I could afford to continue, could afford to keep staying on the products, because the products were really working for me as well. And so things that might have bought, I kind of changed that around. The other thing is I went to work, like I said, I didn't make money straight away, but I was at that point, at that 6-month mark where things were pretty serious. Like, I don't make this thing work or I've got to get a job. And so if anyone's at that point, then we have a business that makes us money and unlimited money. You know, you can get to work and you can put in a lot, get a lot of work happening, get a lot of momentum happening in those first few months, but you can definitely cover your products and then build from there and start, changing your life with the income. So that's sort of where I'd start. People also, they say they don't have money, but they've got money for the things that they want. So it's just sort of helping them understand that. So what's valuable to you? If it's somebody who's coming on for just the health products or the fat loss products, it's helping them value their health, because it depends what people value. I know people that spend, thousands on horses each month because they value their horses. So helping people place that value and helping people see the worth in the products and the importance of keeping yourself healthy, because without health, we've really got nothing. I know if I didn't have my health back, I wouldn't be able to do a job. I wouldn't be able to be building a business. So, that's really up very high for me, because I place that above lots of other things. I look at what people spend money on, alcohol, whatever, and that's everybody's choice. But for me, it's not about getting the next tattoo or whatever. It's always my health is my priority in my life, because without that, I feel like I don't have anything. And you look at sick people and they've got all sorts of things, they're spending money somewhere. It's just prioritizing that. And
our new plan, really you can start with almost nothing, $49, save $10 a week for 5 weeks, start there. And you can get enough people, just get in, learn, get started, and soon your income will cover some product. It's amazing.
Absolutely. It really is. I mean, $50. If you don't have $50, then you actually really need to be building a business. You really need to. That's a problem state to be in. If you don't have a spare $50 a month, or it's over 12 months, it's really important that you do something, because that's not a great place to be. And you don't. For people, that's not a healthy financial state to be in. So absolutely,
and that's so powerful that we can make a difference in that we have what everyday people can do. They don't need really a lot of money to get started, and it's up to them after that.
I mean, traditional business costs so much money to get started in, and there's a big investment and a lot of risk. Nothing. There's no risk. And sometimes that can kind of work against you, because I know when people put money in, they know that, like I started at $750 because that was the pack back then. You had to buy the $750 to be a business builder. But, $50 sometimes, because it's so low, we don't place as great as importance on that. So if you had high overheads, like for example, when I was in traditional business, I had rent through Westfields, I had staffing costs, so you've got to make something, you got to put a lot of work in to make sure it works. And so sometimes, because we don't have those things, we can be a bit blasé, but the fact is the income is there, the potential's there, and it's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got another question here about, even if you've been with Mantech for a long time and you haven't mastered that, switching your mindset around. you know, I think you're a glowing testament for that. Those challenges don't ever go away. It's a daily choice, isn't it?
Absolutely. It really is a daily choice. And if you've been in Manatech for a while and you're not where you want to be, well, that's okay. Just start with your 90-day plan. Like I said, like that, I often do those 90-day plans. Just go 90 days, going all in, which means really working on my mindset, really working on the skill development. Everything's out there on the internet. And the other thing I would really say is don't just wait for your upline to feed you. Become an entrepreneur, you know, get out there, grow yourself. So, and also, you know, if you've got an upline that does sort of the presentations a lot, work on yourself and start to learn how to do your own PowerPoint, and, you know, ask your upline for their presentation and actually sit down and practice it on somebody, so you become really familiar. The more that I've actually done that, because I heard Dr. Nugent's Impact Plus talk, you know, quite a few times, like 3 or 4 times now, probably, yeah, 4 or 5 actually. But it wasn't until I actually did my own presentation that I had to sit down, I had to go through, I had to research all the different ingredients, I had to pull a presentation together. So again, I was teaching on it. When you start to teach on it, or when you're there doing the presentation, it becomes part of you. You
take ownership, don't you?
Really take ownership, and that's really important. I can really encourage anybody to start doing things like that, because that's where you really start to grow. And I'm telling you, Impact Plus is incredible. That's an amazing product. I've had incredible results on that too.
And, you know, people need to make their own story of the presentation, don't they? They need to really bring it home and follow and highlight what is true for them, like what's their truth.
Yeah, because I'm not an athlete, and so I didn't actually do a presentation based on an athlete. I did a presentation based on a mum managing energy levels and stress and what that brings. And so, yeah, it's really about bringing yourself to that presentation. And yeah, even if it's just to practice on, you know, anybody, your team.
Is there anything I've missed that you wanted to highlight today, Naomi?
No, I think we covered all that.
So what's in your heart to leave us with today, and where do you see Manatech going in the next 5 years?
I really feel strongly that Manatech's on the cusp of something big, and it's not necessarily to have to be the biggest and the best company, but I think what we have in our hands is such a gift. And I feel that the ones that are here really understand the gift that we have. So through the ups and downs that Manatech might have had, you know, there's people here that really understand the gift that we have and how we can give that to others. And so I believe that we're on the verge of something amazing, something great. I love the direction that we're going with all the products. So there's that excitement, and yeah, just sharing more of that gift, and everybody, yeah, knowing what we have, and then yeah, just sharing that is going to be incredible.
Naomi, God bless you. Thank you so much for being here. I've just checked my email inbox. I'm not overwhelmed by offers of speakers for next weekend. So come on, you guys, on your bike, get on the email me, say you're willing, I'll coach you. Naomi, thank you so much. Really appreciative. And everybody have a great weekend. See you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.